It's a big day for Dungeons & Dragons fans as the 2024 5th edition update is officially no longer under embargo, which means there are tons of videos out there for a lot of really talented creators that are sharing in-depth looks at everything you can find in the books as well as giving their reviews. In this video, I'm going to pose a couple of abilities or spells with which it's kind of a give or a take whether or not it is a nerf or a buff. So we're going to get into those. I'm going to share my thoughts, and then of course you're going to get to decide whether or not you think these are buffs or nerfs. First things first is going to be the Great Weapon Master feat. So this will no longer have the -5 plus 10. That was -5 to your attack for a chance at 10 damage. They don't seem to have liked this. They have stripped it from basically everything. So there's where you get a bit of a nerf. You think, well, I'm dealing 10 less damage if I hit on that attack. But hold on, they changed it a little bit, so let's get into that. The new Great Weapon Master in the 2024 update will give you the following benefits. You will get an ability score increase. Your strength will be increased by 1 to a maximum of 20. In addition, the Heavy Weapon Mastery feature will allow it that when you hit a creature with a weapon that has the heavy property, as part of the attack action on your turn, you can cause the weapon to deal extra damage to the target. The extra damage equals your proficiency bonus. So this basically says that whenever you hit with a heavy weapon, you can add extra damage. It's not a risk-reward thing like it previously was, so you're taking a -5 so you can try to get more damage. No, you're just always going to do more damage if you're using the heavy weapon. So +2, +3, +4, depends on your proficiency bonus, but it is consistent damage. So yes, you can get those really big hits with the -5 plus 10, but you could also miss because of the -5. Now you don't have to worry about that. In addition, it still features the Hew, which is immediately after you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or reduce a creature to 0 hit points with one, you can make one attack with the same weapon as a bonus action. So that's something that you could already do with the other one. The big change is the takeaway of the -5 plus 10 and replaced by the extra proficiency bonus damage. To me, it's just how you look at it. Do you want the big risk reward to have that one huge hit, or do you want consistent damage on every attack? If you want the latter, this is a buff. But of course, you share your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about it, or what would you have changed? We're going to switch things up now. We're going to go to counter spell. So this is one that saw a pretty massive shift. And I know immediately everybody's going to go, it is 100% a nerf. Well, let's just hear me out real quick. So how it works now is you attempt to interrupt a creature in the process of casting a spell. It's still instantaneous, it's still a reaction, 60 feet, all that jazz. However, now the creature makes a Constitution saving throw, and on a failed save, the spell dissipates with no effect. Right? If you just stop there, it's like, wow, con saves, those are really good. Like, it's typically the hardest one to get somebody to fail. So you have just made it so counterspell is no longer this battle between the two, which was a cool and unique thing. But there is a plus side. Before, right, you throw a spell out, it gets counterspelled, your spell slot is gone. If you went to throw out a fireball or whatever the spell was, it's gone. You don't get that anymore. Your spell slot is no use. Now, if we keep reading, with no effect and the action, bonus action, or reaction used to cast it is wasted. If that spell was cast with a spell slot, the slot isn't expended. So yes, you went to cast a spell, poof, it goes away, it was counterspelled. However, your spell slot is still there. You can cast it again, you can use it on a different spell. You don't lose that. And the turn, yes, just like previous counter spells, you lose your ability or your spell going off. That sucks. It's like a fighter missing an attack. However, you get your spell slot back. It doesn't go anywhere. So it's one of those ones where like, yes, this was nerfed, but yes, this was buffed. It's going to be tough and it's going to be very situational. So I don't even know where I fully stand on it. I think it did take out some of that flavor of like the dueling wizards and things like that. And it's, you know, as a lot of people understand, it sucks getting counterspelled by an NPC, by a BBEG. However, it feels really good to counterspell. And now it's just going to be this really awkward sort of thing initially when everybody's getting used to just Constitution saving throws. So I'm not really going to take a stance on this one. I know it's a cop-out, but maybe you want to take a stance. Let me know down in the comments below how you feel about counterspell, and of course, what would you have done with it? Next up, we are going to return to the feats with Sharpshooter. So similar to Great Weapon Master, Sharpshooter is now giving you a +1 to your dexterity. So you're getting ability improvement. Again, these are actually on every single general feat In this update, everyone will give you a stat bonus. Some will give you some options. Some will just say this is the one stat you get a bonus to. In addition, you bypass cover just like you did before. So ranged attacks with weapons ignore half cover and 3/4 cover. You also still get the firing and melee ability, which allows you to be within 5 feet of an enemy and not get disadvantage on your attack rolls when using ranged weapons. How they managed to give you something for what they were taking away, again, stripping the -5 for +10, is with this next one, which is long shots. Attacking at long range doesn't impose disadvantage on your attack rolls with ranged weapons. This now means that you can be really far back with that short bow, long bow, whatever it is, and as long as it's still within the range, even if it's that second number, it's past the first number, it's tending towards that second number, you don't have disadvantage anymore, which is a little more fitting with sharpshooter. This means you can be much further away and not suffer the negatives of being far away because you're really good at hitting your targets. You're a sharpshooter. Right? So to me, flavorfully, it fits. So again, this is one like, I think it's still a buff in my eyes because yes, again, the high risk, high reward is gone. They took that out. You're not going to get those big boom, extra 10 damage hits. However, you now consistently hit at longer ranges. So again, they stripped the high risk, high reward. They added consistency. I think that's all right. But what do you think? Let me know. And the last one we're going to talk about is going to be going back to spells, and it's going to be sleep. Sleep saw a lot of changes, and we're going to start with the distance. It had its distance dropped to 60 feet, which was a pretty large drop. And not only that, its radius is much smaller. It's now a 5-foot radius rather than 20 feet from a point in all directions. Why did they do this? Well, it's because they made it so now you have the chance to put to sleep anything. Massive hit point creatures. You come across a dragon, there's a chance you could put that thing to sleep, and that's probably not possible with the old ways. How do they do that? They made it a wisdom saving throw now. So everybody has a chance to fail it, but you can't target as many things. So that's kind of the trade-off here. How it works is they will go with the initial saving throw. If they fail that, they are incapacitated until the end of their next turn. During their next turn, they're going to roll again. If they fail again, they are now unconscious. They have been put to sleep. So it is 2 steps, but you know, you can, again, wisdom saving throw versus rolling some hit dice, potentially rolling low, not being able to get anything out of the group. Now, all of them will make wisdom saving throws, which to be fair, isn't exactly everybody's highest saving throw for the most part, especially monsters and things like that. So is it a buff? Is it a nerf? Way less targets, shorter range, but wisdom saving throw instead of dice to roll for hit points. So I don't know. You tell me. I think it's a buff. What do you think? Down in the comments below. And that concludes the things that I wanted to throw out there for a discussion about. Are they nerfs or are they buffs? So tell me what you think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this and you want more content like this about Dungeons & Dragons and TTRPGs, please do consider subscribing to the channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and leaving a comment so you get more of it in your algorithm. If you want to support me directly monetarily, you can become a member here on YouTube or go to my Patreon, patreon.com/levelupdm, and subscribe there for a bunch of goodies. Some of it's even free. So if you don't want to pay, go over there, make an account, subscribe to it for free, and you can get some good stuff. With that being said, thank you all once again for watching, and until next time, good luck in your adventures.